Hi everyone, I'm Lazy Cat Lady. Today we're back with another Sultai Time Civ League. I've made a couple changes, well, just two, literally a couple. One to the main deck and one to the sideboard for today's video. For the main deck, last time I was playing 4 Blood Fountain, but this time around I wanted to test out 1 Ether Vial instead of the 4th Blood Fountain. Ether Vial kind of fills some of the same roles that Blood Fountain plays. You know, it lets you get Asmo into play, just like Blood Fountain gives you access to discard. But it also has some other really nice pieces. You know, we have creatures at 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 CMC. So every, every level of the Ether Vial is relevant. It's really nice for getting uncounterable creatures into play. It's a way to get turn 1 Asmo, which otherwise this deck can't do. So again, I think it fills some of the same roles as Blood Fountain, so I'm trying it as a 3-1 split kind of in that role. I've already play tested with it a bit, and I think it seems pretty promising. It also gives a lot more viability to the late game oval chase, just looping oval chases, making your opponent kill them, since you can get it now for 0 mana at instant speed, and just you can just keep pumping out the daredevils while doing other things with your mana. And I think that's what makes the Ether Vial really interesting, because this deck is also very mana hungry. So that's the change to the main deck. I'm pretty excited about it. And the other one is I'm just afraid of mill again. So I've switched the Orvar in the sideboard back to an Emrakul. I've been seeing less creativity lately, because of the the One Ring. I think kind of altered the meta a bit, and I think I've heard from others, and I've played against Mill more recently than I have in the past. So bringing in that one sideboard card against Mill. Otherwise, no changes. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the league. Okay, match 1, won the die roll, so we will be on the play. Let's see, opening hand, it does have a Saga. This could be a hand where we play turn 1 Saga and just try to get the cookbook as quick as we can. And I think having the Unearth and the double manufactors, I think I'll give it a try. I'll keep. Okay, opponent begins with 7-2. Yeah, let's start on Saga. And this is the kind of hand where you do, I think, want to lead on the Saga. The hand will be a little too slow if I just wait to get things going until turn 4. And with nothing else to do, I think we'll probably just play this tapped. I'll probably want to get a basic with this Polluted Delta. And I don't want to cycle Unearth. I want to have it as a 3rd backup manufactor. Especially if this is, let's see if we can, alright, Triumph, it could be Rhinos. And that's what it looks like to me. It could be icing our Saga here, or our black source. Okay, no ice. Alright, yeah. Let's go ahead and grab another cookbook. We don't need the Vial at the moment. And yeah, this deck does occasionally play Blood Moon, so here I'm going to go ahead and get my basic right now. And I think we just want to cast an Academy Manufactor. They could have Petty Theft. So I think here I'm just going to pass the turn. In response to their fetch, I'll probably discard Oval Chase. Want to make sure to get the value. I could have done it on my turn to get the other cookbook in play, but right now I just want to get the value. Play around some removal. Now they might have, they might have nothing. Bone Crusher Giant doesn't get me. And basic forest here suggests to me, oh, interesting, and Besaja here, you know, played around the removal. I would love to go grab a land. I still don't really have anything I want to do with my mana, so let's get... We could just get the second basic here, which I think is correct, given that they got their basic. Alright, they could have Violent Outburst, could have Force of Negation. Alright, another Oval Chase. Alright, let's just start trying to grind through their removal. I want to go Manufacture, and then I'm going to unearth the other one. See if they want to force this. Do you have the force? Alright, there's the force. They pitch Valorian revealed. Okay, good to know. And now we're going to go Cookbook first. If they want to remove the Manufacture, I want to have 2 sources in play to get value off of it. Alright, here... I'm not doing anything with my mana this turn. I'll only have 2 treasures, so I can't crack a clue and do something else. So here I'm just going to pass. And again, attempt to play around, you know, whatever they have at 3 mana. And looks like it pays off. I don't want to show them the second Oval Chase yet. Keep them guessing. Okay. I'm guessing rhinos are coming down right now. That's what it looks like. Alright. So I don't want to block... Oh, no, never mind. They're not going to have the 2/2. I'm thinking of the other Cascade spell. I don't want to block any of these things. So we're just going to take 8, go to 11, and then... We can either get an Oval Chase in play, or I can, you know, crack some clues and dig for like an Asmo to take some of these off the board. Alright, looks like they're pumping it. Okay, so I'm going to take 10, go to 9, and they have 16 power in play. So the Oval Chase isn't going to cut it. So I think we have to dig and just try to win on the spot after our untap. Another Oval Chase, not a great draw here. Let's draw. Blood Fountain doesn't do it. Let's take another draw. Gilded Goose. So now if I put the Goose in play, I have 5. I need to have at least 7. Right, they have 16 power. I need to have at least 8, you know, toughness to stop from dying. I mean, this replaces itself, so we'll go ahead and play it. And then let's crack another clue. Come on, Asmo. No. Alright, we can crack one more clue, but it's not going to do anything because we won't have any mana left to play anything. Even if it's a land, we don't have anything, so that is... I guess I could gain life. I could go to 12 and then double block, take 12. Oh, I could block 2 different rhinos. Take 11, go to 1. Alright. Well, I guess we gotta do that. If they have another Violent Outburst or a Bone Crusher Giant, we're just dead. Or a Fire Ice, but technically we're alive for one more turn based on what we know, so... we'll go for it. If they have the kill, it's only a couple extra seconds off our clock, so I think that's perfectly alright. Gotta split our blocks up to maximize the 5 toughness. Go to 1. You have the Outburst. No outburst. Oh, wait. Okay, Flame of Anor. Okay, they have trample. I'm dead. Alright. GG, opponent. Okay, Rhinos. We want to bring in Unmoored Ego. We want to bring in one Haywire Might for Blood Moon. And then, is there anything else I'm bringing in this matchup? This matchup, we don't have a lot of cards for it. Yeah, I think that's good. Let's cut. They're such a fast deck. Let's cut a Manufactor and a Time Sieve. I want to leave the Geese around so that we can Unmoored Ego on turn 2 if we lead on a Goose. So let's also cut maybe a Blood Fountain or an Unearth. I think we'll just cut an Unearth. Call it a day. I would love to play first. Alright, so they got us game 1. Alright, we got the Vial with Asmo and Cookbooks. I think this is a good enough hand in my opinion. We're gonna keep. And here's where if they can't get our Vial off the battlefield, we'll just be able to, get Sarin Steelseeker out and Academy Manufactor. Hopefully we can find an Oval Chase. Go to the end step. Let's get that Asmo. And another nicety about Ether Vial is when you have hands like this with no Oval Chase, you can get your Asmo in play without having to get rid of a card. And I think that's also worthwhile. Let's get a counter on you. Alright, Unearth. Well. In that case, I'm going to play one Cookbook, and then probably on my opponent's end step, we will discard Manufactor, and then next turn we can Violin, Steelseeker, Unearth, Manufactor, and dig for another land and some more discard fodder for our Cookbooks. Our opponent, oh, Fury? Okay. Well, we might end up having to Unearth Asmo then. Would they pitch? Pitch Dead Gone. Okay. Second land. So now here, I'm not sure now if I want to unearth the Manufactor, since we may have to unearth Asmo. So I'm just going to untap. Definitely put a counter. And now we might just wait to Vial it in, depending on what we see. Okay, we got a Goose. We can't cast it at the moment. So I think here I want to... Let's Vial and Steelseeker. And then I'm just going to play a Cookbook. See if I can hit a second land. Forcing it. Let's see what happens. Oof. I really want to be able to find a land this turn, so I think now I will react. I think I will bin... This is tough. I'm going to have 2 Cookbooks in play. I'm just going to bin the second Cookbook. Here, I would rather be able to get Goose in play as a blocker and more mana. Okay, great. Well, we found a land, so that's perfect. Alright, you're dead. You come into play. Now I could unearth Steelseeker here, but again, I think we just need to be able to unearth Asmo next turn. So let's just pass the turn. Next turn I can Violin Manufactor and then unearth Asmo and have a removal spell up for what I'm assuming is going to be Rhinos on turn 3 for them. Okay, they get a basic, so glad I hit the swamp if their turn 3 play is actually just Blood Moon. Basic Forest. Okay. There's their island. Okay, they got the Shardless Agent. Footfalls. Alright, 10 power. Sealed through the turn. Get that third counter. And here you can see the nicety of Ether Vial, especially with this hand where I just... Oh, okay, we hit the Asmo, which means we can unearth Sarenth Steelseeker instead. That is so much better. Alright. Let's unearth Steelseeker. Get a trigger on Steelseeker. Yes, found the Oval Chase. Alright, this is perfect. Now we do have to bin the Gilded Goose. But that's okay. We're going to get a bunch of triggers. We're going to generate so much value this turn while they're tapped out. And it looks like they don't have Force of Vigor or Force of Negation. Unmoored Ego. I think it's a little late for the Unmoored Ego, and I want to be able to hit my land drops here. So let's just... I'll leave that in the deck. I'm going to shuffle anyway. So let's put the Asmo in play now. Grab the last cookbook. Alright, let's dig for another land. Don't want you. I'd like you, but I need a land more. There we go. Alright, hit the land. Now we can get the last cookbook down. Ooh, nice. Got the Saga, and now we have 2 removal spells up for the 2 Rhino tokens. Got a bunch of value in play, and next turn, if we find a second Daredevil, we can start vialing in the Daredevils. Do I want to leave this on top? It's not super relevant as a card. I think I'd rather just dig for like an Unearth or something. I think we're fine if they Blood Moon, so I'm just gonna bin the Steelseeker too. We could draw 1 card to see if there's something else relevant, and I think I'll do that. There's a lot of 1-drops. Okay, there's an Unearth, so I'll hold the Unearth and pass the turn. We can get rid of your threats. They got 4 cards in hand. I think this game we should probably be able to close out. Okay, second basic. An Herbor, you know, we got the nice painless mana base. Alright, and they pack it in. Alright. So I think we'll do the same thing. I think the One Ring is relevant enough against them being able to survive an extra combat step, even though it's expensive in their fast deck. Alright, let's just resubmit. Okay. Game 3. 1-1. This matchup's definitely pretty close. I think it's... I can't remember my win rate against it, but I think it's, you know, we don't have much against it, but I think usually it's, you know, good enough that I don't need too many sideboard cards. No discard outlet for Asmo, no other turn 1-2 plays. I think this is going to be a mulligan. Alright, opponent keeps at 7. Alright, Goose, Vial, the Saga, I think might make this hand just keepable. Might want to keep the blue land if we draw Unmoored Ego, but I'm probably just going to be Ether Vial into Blood Fountain, make a construct that can block your stuff. So let's just hope they don't have Blood Moon. Keep. Bottom the Urborg. Alright, this looks like they're suspending. Alright, they got one of their Footfalls suspended. Okay. Another Watery Grave isn't great. We're going to lead on the basic Swamp. Get this Vial down. And this is nice, you know, we can also get the Goose in place. We'll definitely have a pretty large construct by our turn 3. So hopefully they just, well, the way this lines up, they probably won't be fire icing the turn that I want to be making a construct, so. Oh, we could even, is Deadly Dispute better here? Vial and Goose, sack food. I think I just want as big a construct as possible, so I think we'll save the dispute. Go ahead. Because we're about to have 5/5 constructs. Alright. I like to see the Triumphets here. Probably means they don't have a Blood Moon in hand. Otherwise you'd get basic with your 2 fetches. Alright. What'll it be? Okay, they could have Violent Outburst here. Which is fine by me. Alright. Let's get the Goose. The Goose is loose yet again. Yeah, an Ether Vial just, you know, and you know, this is why I'm testing it in the slot. I think it's really strong, especially as a one-off where you're not punished for drawing a second copy. Opponent thinking. Okay. Stick you up. I guess they could ice still. Wow, I feel like I haven't seen an ice in so long, like from this deck. All right, let's go to 18. Now we could cast Asmo with the Goose and food, but then we probably won't have a 5/5 construct to block their 4/4s, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass. Let's see if they have the Violent Outburst. I'd be surprised if they didn't. Alright, there's the Outburst. Okay, we can see they do play a Murktide Regent in the deck. I think that's pretty stock at this point. I think like 1 or 2 copies maybe. Now I can't make it bigger than a 5/5, so they could have a second Outburst and I could lose this construct on the attack, but I don't want to take 8 or 10 damage here, so. Got that second Footfalls coming down next turn, so might need to get the Asmo down next turn, but I'm not sure. See if they attack. Alright, they do get in. That kind of makes me think they have like a Force of Vigor or another Violent Outburst. But this is the game plan. Force? I think if they Force of Vigor, they probably hit Vial Construct. The Vial's already gotten us a decent amount of value though, so. There we go. Yep, Force. Okay, no, never mind. Forgot. I have the Saga in play. That makes way more sense. Okay. Alright, take 8. Go to 10. Alrighty. Let's get you up to 3. Draw for turn. Ooh, Unmoored Ego. Well, I can't get the Footfalls in exile. I'm going to have to loot and dig for something else to interact. I can at least get one. Let's loot away. Let's loot away the Unmoored Ego. I need the land just in case. Okay. Yep. Let's go grab Cookbook. I have to go to 8 now. Really wish I had a green source in the top, you know, couple cards. But this is what we got to do. And here I'm just going to discard the Gilded Goose now. I want to hold the Deadly Dispute to try to rebuild. Alright. Alright, here comes the rest of their rhinos. I just gotta hope they don't have another Violent Outburst or Shardless Agent in hand. I'd really like to avoid that. Alright, they have the Dismember. So let's kill one of their rhinos. I'm going to take 4. Okay. Alright, let's yield to the turn. Alright, I'm at 4. I have to be able to get at least 2 of these rhinos out of play, so this could be, you know, game over. Island cycling, okay. Alright, they play the island. And I could leave it on 3, or I could tick it up to 4. I think I'll tick it up to 4 for the oval chases, since I don't have an Academy Manufactor in play anyway. Alright, we're going to have to dig for something, no matter what. So let's sack the Blood Fountain. Do we find something to keep us alive? The One Ring, oof. We don't have the mana. Wait, I could get to 3 mana? I can only get up to 3 since this doesn't come into play untapped. That's unfortunate. If I play another Goose, we're still taking 8. I could gain life, but that puts me to 7. I'm still dead. Okay. That looks like it's going to be a GG. Yeah, that's GG. Alright. Got by rhinos, not super surprising. Didn't have a great hand that 3rd game, but 1-2 versus rhinos. And yeah, you know, it's kind of a 50-50 matchup. I think, you know, rhinos is going to win sometimes. So, yep. Let's go on to the next match. Okay, we're on to match 2. Won the die roll again. Let's see what we got. Okay. Steel Seeker, Dispute, and a Saga. I think it's good enough. I can keep this. All right, let's keep. All right, opponent keeps at 7. Just gonna fetch a Overgrown Tomb tapped on their end step. Our opponent's up to something. Okay, could be. Alright, Thoughtseize, yep. So they might take the Unearth. They might take the. I think probably the Deadly Dispute makes the most sense as a take. They probably have removal for the Steel Seeker. Might have a Dothy, Voidwalker for turn 2. Okay, took the Unearth instead. Yeah, that tells me they probably have removal for the Steel Seeker. So they're just making sure that they can get that out of play before it gets any value. But I gotta run through the removal anyway, and I can't play the Deadly Dispute, so. Unless they have a Blood Moon, these construct tokens should be quite strong. And once we get the Underworld Cookbook, we can really start getting some value. Nice to have an Oval Chase in hand. I guess it could also be Jund, either straight Jund or Jund Saga. Now in this kind of metagame, you just have to be thinking about Orcish Bowmasters all the time. Thankfully, none of the creatures in the main deck they don't die immediately to Orcish Bowmasters. So you just have to be really careful with your draws. Like having this Deadly Dispute in hand, if they have a Bowmaster, I'm just going to have to time it, you know, well, when they don't have 2 mana up for it. Since we have the Manufacture and the Deadly Dispute, 2 sources of treasure tokens, I think we'll just fetch a basic with the Verdant Catacombs. Save some life. Probably don't need the blue mana at the moment. Okay, I guess they could be terminating Steel Seeker. Okay, Swamp makes me think it's Rakdos. Okay, they got the Voidwalker. Okay, and there's the Watery Grave anyway. And let's keep track of what Voidwalker has access to. I don't think they really have sorcery speed removal that I need to play around, so I'm just going to go ahead and get the construct now and make sure I get the Steel Seeker trigger. Manufacture. I don't really want to draw the second one. But I don't really want to exile it either. Okay. We'll leave it on top then. Because they have Ragavan, you know, Academy Manufacture can actually be kind of strong for them. They could have the Blood Moon here. Grief. Okay. Well, they're going to be able to take probably Deadly Dispute Manufacture. Depends on, they might try to take the, oh, okay, they take the Oval Chase. They just want to make sure I don't have explosive value with this hand. Alright. I'm assuming you now take the Deadly Dispute. What did they pitch for Grief? Okay, they pitched Croxa. That's interesting. 3 cards left in hand. Alright, they take the Manufacture. We got one on top anyway. Okay, at least they can't Blood Moon us now, so we do get to get this second construct. Second construct, got a cookbook, probably play Watery Grave tapped. And we know we're drawing a Manufactor. Okay. Okay, Ragavan. And of course the Dauthi just being unblockable is kind of a clock that we eventually need to deal with. I'm not super concerned about what it has exiled with it at the moment, but alright, let's draw a Manufactor, grow our construct, and let's hope they don't have a Lightning Bolt, and I'll try to get them out of bolt range right now. Ooh. I don't want to put this in my graveyard. Let's say nope. Want those in my deck. Alright, got another land. I guess now we'll play the Blooming Marsh, even though we can save some life. This is going to come into tap no matter what. So, I'd rather play that now. We can grow our constructs to 4/4s. And we might do that in response to this fetch to know that we can play around Lightning Bolt. I'm least interested in this land. Dauthi can have another land. Now we're kind of just digging for Asmo. Time Sieve. I'll leave Time Sieve on top. If they tap out this upcoming turn to do something, like maybe cast a, whatever that saga is, we might be able to resolve Manufactor and win. Alright, push a construct. Okay. Now they might be able to... Well, I guess Bolt would have to be their last piece of interaction. Interesting. They attack with Ragavan. Can take 7, go to 8. The attack with Ragavan's very interesting. It makes me wonder if they have something that deals 1 damage. Maybe they have a Fury. Oh, they can't cast Fury. Alright. I'm not sure about the Ragavan. I could be walking into something, but I'd rather... Oh, they just had the Bolt? Okay. But no treasure for you. Alright, they're out of cards. I have a Time Sieve on top. Draw. So let's go Manufacture. Try to hit a land off a Steel Seeker. No such luck. But they're top decking now. They don't have removal and exile. I can take another 7. So I think I will not bin the Deadly Dispute and hope that my threats can survive to live another day. Okay, no attack with the Ragavan. I'm not going to lose my Academy Manufactor. Take the 7. Okay. Now I think we should just be able to go off with the double disputes. Alright. I think we might be in the clear here. Alright, don't need you, and now we don't have to worry about the Dothy. Nice. Snagged a couple lands. Let's discard Blooming Marsh. No, I'd like to draw you. I mean, we should be able to just take the turns here anyway, so I don't think it should matter too much. But I want to get everything down. Alright, Cookbook. Alright, we can lose the second Goose. I really just want to find an Asmo. Alright, there's the Asmo. We can't get it this turn. We'll draw it next turn. Let's cast Time Sieve. You'll do the turn. Not going to attack yet. I'm just going to grab Asmo and we can go from there. Now we can take care of the Dothy and then we can start looping the Oval Chase. Alright, let's just yield to you now. Should be able to just clean this up. Kill you. Activate Goose. Leave that second Time Sieve. So now we just gotta go through the motions. Alright, they concede. Okay, Rakdos Scam. Bringing our removal, pithing. Oh wow. Looks like they just conceded. Okay, well. I guess they really maybe didn't like playing against that deck. Alright, well, we get the kind of the free 1-0 win versus Scam. You know, not too many notes on that match since we didn't get to play out the full set, but you know, I think based on our last couple leagues, we have a pretty decent matchup against Scam. I think a little bit better than 50-50. I know they're a huge percentage of the meta share, so it's really important to have a good matchup against them. Yeah, so you know, let's jump on to the next one. Match 3, lost the die roll. Let's see what we got. And here, you know, again, I feel like this league is just thankfully showing, I think, how strong Ether Vial is. Getting that, as long as it resolves, this is definitely keepable. We can Vial and Asmo, get a cookbook, we got the Oval Chase, and a Saga. Seems like a pretty solid hand. As long as they don't Thoughtseize me. Alright, is this burn? Alright, up against burn, so let's make sure... Ooh, cookbook. Alright, I changed my mind. Alright, changed my mind. We want to be able to crack foods as soon as possible, so we're just going to get the Oval Chase loop going since we drew that for turn. Basically, try to time walk them with food tokens. I do know that they play Skullcrack's main and some of those enchantments, so we do have to be careful about when we crack our foods, but alright, now what do I want to do? I could get the Saga down. We probably aren't making constructs, but I think it makes sense. Let's just get Saga down, probably crack a food. And we've got the, I'm gonna hold the Beseiju, because if they do have one of those, all right, Boros Charm, correct in response. Go up to 20, back down to 16. And especially game 1, this is really just what you want to do against burn. Sometimes they'll have removal for your cookbook in games 2 and 3, but it's so important to just set them back with these foods. And next turn we can play Asmo and crack a food. And with that in mind, I think here actually I'll just play the Ether Vial so we can start growing that. Okay. And with that in mind, since they're tapped out here, no need to walk into a Skullcrack next turn. We'll just crack a food now. And this is the kind of patience you need for the burn matchup. You know, they're going to run out of cards probably in like 2 turns, and we're still at 13 life. And next turn we can double food crack unless they have the Skullcrack in hand. Alright, they're immediately drawing. Got the Monastery Swiftspear. Okay, now they're tapped out of mana for Skullcrack, so ooh, if they walk into... They could only have 1 spell, so I'm going to see if they're just walking into my Asmo. And I have 2 in hand, so I'm totally fine losing 1 to a bolt or something. Wow. Ether Vial just really wow. I'm so excited about it right now. This is just perfect showing from Ether Vial. We have the cookbooks, so we don't need it for Asmo. So I'm going to start taking it up for if we find other, 1-2 mana threats. And I'm going to remain resilient and just keep cracking foods. Let's get a cookbook. Play another Marsh, plus the painless mana we've had so far. It's just incredible. Yep. And I think I will, now I think I can start attacking. They only have 2 cards in hand. They can't kill me out of nowhere, so now I think we can start advancing our board state. And even if they can remove our Asmo, we just get another in play. I've got the threats, I've got the interaction, got the life gain. Textbook Sultai food burn matchup. Another land for them. Alright. Get you on up to 2. Watery Grave. And here they still haven't interacted with us, so I think it's pretty safe to just get in with Asmo, crack some more foods. I just want to make this game as unwinnable as possible for the burn player in this position. They're probably just going to hold this Bloodstained Mire for if they hit their landfall burn card, which I always forget the name of for whatever reason. Do they have the landfall burn card? Okay. So again, now my opponent is just, I think, trying to build up their hand of spells to be able to give a flurry of burn spells, you know, in like one go, but I'm just gonna remain stalwart in my life gain plan. No faltering. I'm at 25. Now I just have to close the game out. And if we can find a second oval chase, that'll help us. So we're just going to keep ticking this up. And there we go. Next turn we'll be able to start that game plan. So don't want to lose any life here. I think it's pretty safe to say that this game is unwinnable for the burn player at this point, but, you know, I would play this game out too. Although I don't play burn. I only play, well, I play some other decks, but I've just played so many matches with this deck and am still not sick of it. Alright, against burn, we want Haywire Mites for their Roiling Vortexes. What else do we want? We probably want Push Shards for early threats. Sometimes our hands just don't have Asmo. I could see an argument for bringing in a Pithing Needle for the Roiling Vortex, but I think we want to be pretty clean with our sideboarding. They're a fast deck, so I'm going to get rid of the big clunky cards, and I don't think we want the life loss from the ring, so this is a type of matchup where I want to cut that. And what else? Probably just cut an Unearth or a Blood Fountain. Since we're bringing in the Bone Shards, we don't need as many discard outlets, so I think I'm going to go like that. Goose is an excellent card in this matchup, being able to, you know, block and then give us a food. So, as usual, we're looking for a hand with Cookbook or something to get a Cookbook. Maybe a Saga. Pretty much just Cookbook. Ether Vial just shining so much. So let's hope to get another clean, easy, patient victory for game 2. Usually they have the Skull Cracks, the Roiling Vortexes, which are kind of a problem, and they'll probably have some number of Sanctifier Invec, which is, you know, definitely a problem for this deck. So that's honestly probably the card I'd like to see least in their hand, as opposed, you know, we can usually play around Skull Cracks. Okay. Got a Saga. Got Oval Chases. 3 Oval Chases isn't really what you want to see. Opponent starts with 7. We don't have any black mana, which is kind of concerning. It's probably a close keep. Mulliganing could be worse, though, and we do... if they have Enchantment Destruction, though, we lose access on turn 1. Okay, I've talked myself out of it. I'm going to mulligan. There's a lot better hands we could get. Alright, there's a Cookbook. Keep, bottom of land. And even without Oval Chase, it's still, you know, you're trading a card for 3 damage, which I think is almost always just going to be worth it against burn. Alright, let's go you. Pass. We might honestly just discard Steel Seeker. Set it up for an Unearth later to save us some mana. Ooh, double Swift Spear. We're going to need to find something to handle them. Alright, we're taken. We're going to 16. We're going to 12. That's pretty scary. They got 3 cards in hand. Let's do what we talked about. Another Deadly Dispute. Not really what we want to see here. I think I'll put Sarenthal as a blocker. I don't think we're in the position yet where we want to start cracking foods. We just gotta hope they don't kill us next turn. But I can get a lot of triggers off of Steel Seeker while they're tapped out. Another cookbook. I need to dig for something else, unfortunately. Alright, there's a land. Let's keep digging. I'm probably just chump blocking with this Steel Seeker. They might just have a removal for it, the landfall card. But I'd like to be able to block one of these, and then we can start cracking foods next turn. Really need to find an Asmo. Got to find something to get these Swift Spears. And this is the kind of hand that Burn can definitely beat this deck with. It's a lot easier for us to deal with burn spells because we have food tokens, but the repeated damage on the creatures is what's particularly dangerous. Okay, they're getting the cookbook, so that's extra unfortunate that we ditched the... I go to 8. If we take 4, we go to 4, and then we're just dead to Boros Charm. I think I have to block here. And hope to draw Asmo, something to get these off the battlefield. Alright, Asmo. Alright, alright. We won't be able to crack a food, though. So I think here what I'm going to do instead... do I have the luxury of doing that? If I play Asmo, they just need like 2 burn spells in hand. So I think I need to crack a food this turn. So I don't want to go for the Asmo play. With that in mind, I'm going to Deadly Dispute. And then I'll have the treasure. And I'll just crack a food now and hope I can survive at 9. Ooh. Go to 9. If they have 2 burn spells, I'll be dead. If they have 1 burn spell, if it's Boros Charm, I would go to 5 and then take 4, go to 1. They don't have any lands, so we know that that's 3 spells in hand. Goose blocking saves us 2 life. Cracking food saves us 3. So I think we just have to crack a food. I guess I could Vial in Asmo block 2, but if they just have 2 burn spells, I'm just dead. Definitely some tough choices here. I think we just have to crack the food and hope. That's okay, we got a game 3 if they get us here. Plan for next turn is Vial plus Goose. Kill one of these Swift Spears, and hopefully they run out of resources. But alright, Bolt me. They have to not have another 1 mana spell, or I'm just dead on the spot. They could also have land, 2 mana spell. Okay, alright. I'm dead. We'll let him get in for the win. Alright, going to game 3. I think the sideboarding is just fine. Do I want to make any changes? I think the answer is no. Let's resubmit. And again, maybe I should have kept that first hand and just, you know, gotten the cookbook by turn 3, but with that fast Swift Spear hand, I think we were probably in trouble, so. Cookbook plus removal really is what we'd like to see in our hand. Goose is also fine. Just for chump blocking for a bit, buying time. It's also nice turning all your unearths into just, you know, Goose, block your creature, make a food. Unearth, Goose, block your creature, make a food, you know? So that's a potentially viable opening hand too. Opponent may be rethinking some sideboard decisions. Even Haywire Might just chump blocking and gaining 2 life can be valuable, which is why Haywire Might is just such a good card. In fact, before the printing of Haywire Might, I was kind of the opinion that this deck wasn't super powerful because the sideboard options for artifact enchantment removal, you know, they were all destruction based and, you know, you have to draw it. But Haywire Might just getting off Urza's Saga, just always having, you know, 6 copies basically in your deck, that was definitely a huge turning point for this archetype in my opinion. They really were like, let's print the best possible Urza's Saga artifact enchantment removal card. You know, like there's nothing, no notes for Haywire Might. Alright, yes, we would like to be on the play. Want to come out in front of burn. Alright, we got removal and Haywire Might, no food production. So it's kind of a risky keep. We don't have a lot of stuff to trigger Sarenth Steelseeker, but maybe that's okay. We got Painless Mana Base with the Urborg. It's tough. I feel like if with a Saga this would be keepable. I think you really just need access to food production. Alright, Goose plus Saga. I think we can keep here. Bottom the Sieve. We will have to fetch Shock here, but the rest of these Sagas are painless, so Overgrown Tomb, Goose. Alright, opponent, show us what you got. Thankfully, Swift Spear can't get through if that's their opening card, but Goblin Guide does. So, look at that. Goose already staving off 1 damage, which is pretty cool. Yeah, we just want to find that cookbook. Let's go Saga. I think here we might even block make food, and then we'll have foods for the next 2 rounds instead of cracking 1 now. So I think that's what my plan will be. And then next turn we can either make construct or crack food. Kind of depends on what they do this turn. Unfortunately, even making the second food, we couldn't get a construct out of bolt range. So I think probably we won't be making constructs with our next couple turns. Okay. So they're casting something pre-combat. Sanctifier. Okay. Definitely increases the clock since they can get in and I can't really... Well, you're attacking? Okay, definitely blocking. Okay, end step. And now because of the Sanctifier, we might actually want to make a construct. Usually I'm supposed to be spending these turns cracking foods, but making a 3/3 that can block the Sanctifier seems pretty important. And we're still at 17, so I think the Sanctifier is the bigger problem right now. So you do have to kind of pivot from that food plan sometimes. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me. Goblin Guide, alright. It might not even, okay, they do get in with the Sanctifier. Let's see if we get a land. Alright, we got an Unearth on top, that's pretty sweet. They might have a bolt for the construct. That's what's happening. Yep. And because of the Unearth, I think we might want to do Goose Block now. Take 4, go to 13. Draw for turn. If I make Construct and cast Haywire Might, I can block Sanctifier, chump somebody else. I still don't think I'm just going to be dead from the burn spells in hand. And I think I need to have a blocker for this Sanctifier. So that's what we're going to do. Get Underworld Cookbook, play Saga, play Might, go ahead. And because of this Unearth also, it means we can just kind of freely block with the Might, since we can Unearth it later if we need to handle something. Next turn, I kind of just plan on cracking 2 food tokens. Bolt, who you bolting? Bolting the Construct. Interesting. Bolt the Construct again. Dang. So here we're going to take another 4, go to 9, but they are wasting double bolt on this Construct. I'm going to chump the Swift Spear. Do I hit a land? We got a Goose on top. That's pretty cool. Alright, block you. Gain 2. Basically take 2, go to 11. Alright, they got 3 spells in hand. Okay. Now, we can make Construct plus Goose. We're still at 11. Even if they have 3 1-mana burn spells in hand, we can block 2 things. Well, I guess in that exact scenario, I think we'd be dead. We'd block 2, take 2, burn me for 3. They would have to have land 3 1-mana burn spells. I think that's just unlikely. And I think they just keep handling my constructs. Yeah, so let's go Goose, make another food, make a construct. Next turn, keep pushing my timeline back, unfortunately. And again, we're gonna have a 5/5, so they would have to spend 2 burn spells on it. So just gotta hope that they don't have removal for it again. Alright, Alright, they got the land. Am I dead? It would have to be a pretty perfect hand, but they definitely top deck that land, it's turn 5. They could have an artifact destruction for our construct, which would be pretty bad. See what's on top. Alright, we got an Asmo on top. That could help us handle some of these creatures. Now, if I make construct and they destroy it, I go to 8, I block, I take 4. I think we're still constructing, even if they have the destruction. And we get to block. here it doesn't matter which one we block, but Swift Spear could be more damage if they have stuff at instant speed, and I don't really care if Goose dies, so we're gonna do it this way. Now, do you have... Alright, Skull Crack. Go to 8. Hopefully just go to 6. Alright, we finally got the Sanctifier off the board. Let's untap. Alright, let's see. Okay, and here we really need to start gaining life, so we're just going to be cracking some food tokens. Let's get... I honestly might just get another Might. I could get an Ether Vial, so I don't have to discard a card to get this Asmo in play. I think that might be what happens here. Alright, let's get Ether Vial. Let's Vial and Asmo. Get a cookbook, and now they don't have Skullcrack up, so we can pretty safely go to 9, go to 12, pass with blockers. And now Construct can cleanly block the Swift Spear, and Asmo can block Goblin Guide. Oh, they have another Sanctifier, interesting. And this is nice, you know, having the Haywire Mites and the Gilded Geese not being exiled by Sanctifier is really relevant in this matchup. Okay, looks like we've almost gotten them out of resources here. We will tick you up. Yes. Draw for turn. We want to be cracking foods. Let's go get Haywire Mite this time. Get us another blocker and life gain in play. We don't need any additional cookbooks at the moment. And I think here we can crack 1 food, go to 15, and then we're at a pretty healthy life total. And then I can use my other 2 mana to maybe like unearth a goose or something. Let's do that first. And we want to keep a 4/4 construct. Yeah, I think I just want to unearth. Holding the unearth to be able to get the Asmo back could be really important. So I think maybe I'll just hold up Deadly Dispute. Possibly sack a threat in response to something. I think now that we're at 15, we can take a turn off of, you know, cracking food tokens immediately. Like to... Well, I can't really find an Oval Chase in this scenario, so I might want to dig for a Serenth Steelseeker so I can start just finding lands and pumping them through the cookbooks. It's incredible to me how tedious the Burn matchup... Oh, and there we go. All right. We got through in game 3 against Burn. Tried to be as patient as possible with those Sanctifiers, and then, you know, got to the late game with some life gain, turned the corner. And that's how you do it against Burn. Sweet. So 2-1 against Burn. We're 2-1 now with our win against Scam and Burn, and the loss to Rhinos. So things are going pretty good this league again. All right, let's get to the next match. Match 4. Lost the die roll. Let's see what's going on. All right, we got plenty going on in this hand. Goose or Blood Fountain turn 1. Plus we got the Steel Seeker and Deadly Dispute. So let's keep. Our opponent begins with 7. Now, if I'm not expecting removal, well, okay, they might have a Fatal Push. Ooh, Asmo, that's pretty good. Here I think I'm interested in leading on Goose and maybe getting some removal out of their hand. and then being able to land the Asmo with a removal spell up. Alright, there we go. Got a push out of their hand. Could be mono black, no Coffers, or Coffers. Okay. Mono black Coffers. Not a good matchup for us, unfortunately, but they can't get Karn down just yet. I can either draw or I can put Steel Seeker in play. I think I'd rather get Steel Seeker in play. That way, by the time they get Karn down, hopefully we can have some power already in play. I know they play Wraths. Like they might have to tutor Damnation, but at least it's sorcery speed. Okay, they got the Coffers, which means they're free to get something else with their Profane tutor. Alright. Alright, chapter 2. Let's go ahead and shock. Now, I think the construct's going to be important, so that's going to be my plan for this turn. Let's get him with Steel Seeker. Even if they push it here, I think I'm not going to make the construct because I don't want to walk into a Damnation. Alright, let's see what they do. Alright, Cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm. Interesting. I didn't know this deck was playing the Trolls. So they got an extra Swamp. Cycle another Troll. Wow, okay. Double Swamp. Tutor. I'd assume this tutor goes and gets Karn. That's my assumption, unless their hand already has a Karn. They're going to 5. They're going to 6 cards total. We'd really like to not see a that 5 mana card. Invoke Despair. Okay, so I'm going to lose the enchantment, so I got to act now. Thankfully, we have another Saga. We're going to sack the Steel Seeker. Nice, we get a land. Okay, creature, then the Saga. Okay. Alright, they played one of these swamps. That might have been what they tutored. It's kind of hard to tell. Alright, what do we want to do here? Definitely want to get the cookbook in play. Probably want to play Asmo as well to get some more pressure on the board. With that in mind, let's go. I want to cast Dispute first. See what I draw. Alright, there's the Manufacturer. That's going to be... If we can land that next turn, we might be able to just win on the spot. So let's get... I think we don't need the Blood Fountain here in this hand. So let's spin the Blood Fountain. Get Asmo in play. I should have attacked first. Okay. That's okay. Lost a damage, but... As long as they don't have Karn plus some kind of double creature destruction, I think we should just be able to win here. Alright, what are you casting? Alright, they got the Damnation. They only have 3 mana left over. They could have a removal spell. Did they play that extra swamp? Okay, they played the swamp. Oh, okay, well they're going to reveal another one. Interesting with the trolls. I'm not sure I understand the trolls in the shell very much, but okay, they could be holding a removal spell, but I think I want to go for the win regardless. They have Urborg, so I don't have to fetch. So I think I won't. We're going to play the cookbook first, then play the Manufacturer. Now, if they have removal, we're not going to be able to get the value out of this Manufacturer. But I'm gonna make them have the removal. you know? Okay. Alright, I'm going for it. Time save? And now, for those that haven't run into this situation before, you don't need an oval chase. You just discard the card you draw for turn, crack a clue, discard the other card you draw, and that's 5 artifacts. So no need for an oval chase to go off in this scenario. If we can get the clean game 1 win versus mono black, that's going to be really powerful. Okay, second manufactor. I don't think I can make a construct here. I just need to be able to make the requisite artifacts. Okay. Let's go discard you. And if they don't have anything at this point, I don't think they'll have anything at all. So, crack our clue. Oh, now we have unearth. We could unearth Asmo. That'll get a threat in play. All right. Let's do that instead. Get the 4th cookbook. Discard the cookbook. Take a turn. And here I don't know what they have. I'd rather not put my manufactor in harm's way. So I'm just gonna yield through the turn and not attack. I don't have anything pressuring me. It doesn't take that much time to go through these steps, so. Now we just gotta close the game. If we could hit a oval chase, that would definitely make it a little bit quicker, but. Okay, they see the loop. All right, nice. All right, mono black coffers, win game 1. We need answers for Karn. So bring in bone shards, bring in the tear asunder, and then definitely at least 1 pithing needle. The weird thing is that pithing needle Karn isn't always the best, because sometimes you actually want them to tick down so that you can actually kill it. Bring in the damping spheres, but they also have other artifacts, that you want to be able to get that for. Bring in the egos for Tron and also for Coffers. And bring in 1 might. Maybe we only want 1 ego. It's kind of hard to tell, but I think the combo is probably the strongest against them. I think this is an example. No, I think Vial is actually going to be good against them. Getting Asmo down early to be able to pressure an early Karn, I think, is strong. They do have a decent amount of graveyard hate. I'm going to go cut 2 unearths, cut a goose, cut a fountain, cut a manufactor, time sieve, dispute, and then maybe just bring in 1 ego. I think they get the land down so quick, it's better to have ego for Karn, and I don't think we need the second one, so that's how I'll sideboard against them. I haven't had to play, actually, against the Coffers in a while. Alright, this is a really slow hand, and they begin with 7, so I'm going to mulligan this. No turn 1 play to set up dispute and nothing to trigger the Steel Seekers. Much better. Damping Sphere, perfect. Here I probably want to bottom the manufactor so that we have all the engine pieces, but I could also see bottoming the goose. Actually, I think the manufactor is more powerful in this hand, so I'm going to bottom the goose. All right. Well, no Thoughtseize. We love to see that. We really need this cookbook. Boseiju, such an excellent draw. They have Field of Ruins, so, well, a lot of lists play Field of Ruins, so you always want to fetch non-basics versus them. Let's get down our cookbook, and hope they don't have the turn 2 Thoughtseize either, and then we'll be able to resolve this Damping Sphere, and just completely shut down their, intense mana production. So I'm wondering if they just basically cut lands for the trolls. I still think it's kind of silly since the troll doesn't seem to offer any additional benefit. Alright, play the swamp. It's also good to keep in mind that if they have 2 mana up, they can Shadow of Doubt and make it to negate one of your fetch lands. So just good to be wary of that. Oh, they got the Cling on the Oval Chase. That's unfortunate. I'll have to wait to get another one. Cling to Dust. Dispute. Technically, playing... And here I play Urborg because they already have one, so it doesn't matter. Here, I really just don't want to walk into discard, and Damping Sphere is going to be the most important. I'd love to Deadly Dispute instead, but I think we just have to get down the Damping Sphere. Next turn we can Deadly Dispute. I want to look for a different land that isn't Boseiju, because I'd rather hold the Boseiju for potential artifacts they put in play, or to just get a Coffers off the table. Turn target creature card. Interesting. Okay. Never seen that tech before. Alright. Cycle another troll. Get a swamp. Play a swamp. Yield to the turn. The One Ring. That could really help us if we could resolve that. As long as they don't have a Karn, of course. I really want to hold on to this Boseiju, but to get to the One Ring mana, we really need to start ramping. So I think I'm kind of priced into playing it here, unfortunately. And here, I've already cast my spells. I'm just going to pass. If I want to on their turn, I can discard a card and cast the Deadly Dispute. We'll have to see what they do. Liliana, mill 2 cards, return a creature. Okay, this isn't very threatening, I don't think. Okay, they mill 2, bring back the troll. Okay, they got troll in hand, no 4th land. Interesting. So yeah, here I think I'll just untap. I can either ring, or I can get manufactured down. If we draw a time sieve, I think they're just dead. So here, what do I want to do? I think I probably just want to ring, draw a card. I think that's going to be the best thing to do. Next turn they're going to have to cycle the troll, so I don't think they'll be able to play. There's the Sieve. Alright, if they don't have discard this turn, I think we can just untap and win. Alright, play Manufacture, discard a card. I think we need to hit a land, though. Alright, there goes the troll. Get themselves a basic swamp. Oh, interesting. Witch's Cottage. So I wonder if they're a reanimator. Alright, they put that on top of their library, so that's their next draw. That's interesting. Okay, they could have removal up here. I guess we can't win because we won't be able to cast all the requisite spells, but we can set up for the win next turn. Gilded Goose. Let's draw first. We want to hit a land. Still no land. This kind of makes me want to discard something and just get Asmo in play. Get some removal out of their hand. We have a lot of extra cards here, so I think we can safely discard a Goose, cast Asmo, and then we can just hold up Deadly Dispute. Get a cookbook. I guess I could Deadly Dispute now. We got 7 cards in hand. I think it's okay to take it slow versus them. Now I've got power in play where I can pressure a Karn. Although this Liliana will probably be minusing on... Oh, they got the push. Okay. Oh, I'm going to have to go to discard if I... Okay, I'll just let it die. If this had been game 1, I would have guessed this was just like a brew. Okay, they drew that for turn. Get another swamp. Play the swamp. You got a Karn. If they have the Karn, it's going to be not great. Okay. Do you have a ring? Okay, they got the ring. Okay. So they gain protection, which means if I want to take turns next turn, I can't kill them. Because I have to win through combat damage. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. Yield to the end step. Let's fire you off. Okay, we got the Oval Chase. Okay. Gilded Goose. I mean, I'm gonna go off, get my hand all set up so that I can make sure I can play through whatever else they have and have enough power in play. They might concede. I'm not really sure. We'll find out. So here we want to go like this. Discard Oval Chase. And now I think we just cast Sieve and sack the One Ring. So let's draw a couple extra cards. Wow, that's a lot of cards. Oh my goodness. I think here I have to Deadly Dispute, sack. Sack the Damping Sphere. Oh, then I'll only have 1 mana left over. If I cast 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be all 5. Maybe I do just need to pass here. It's a weird situation. They're gonna have so many cards next turn. Okay, I think I'll just do this. We gotta give them 1 more turn anyway, but we have presented that we will be able to win next turn. Let's pass. Let's discard. I don't want to discard Oval Chase necessarily. What do I have in hand? 4, 8, 9. I got to discard 2 cards. Actually, that's fine. We have so many resources in hand. Let's get rid of you and a Goose. And hope they can't, you know, lock me out of the game right now. Otherwise, we can win on our turn. So let's see what happens. They might just be doing something like cast, what's that card called? Sheoldred. They only have 5 up to 6 mana. Alright, they're drawing. I'm so surprised they haven't seen a Karn yet. It's really lucky for us that they haven't. Really what I should have done last turn was just sack the Damping Sphere to my Deadly Dispute. I was just worried about, you know, with the protection, I don't want to get in a situation where I lose the game because I, you know, cut off their hate. Oh, why didn't they? Okay. Are they gonna Damnation or something? This is 5 mana. Alright, Invoke Despair. Alright, we can, I think we should be able to win now. They draw 2 cards. They can't get a Karn down. I think we're good to go. And in fact, on their end step, I think I'm going to sack this Damping Sphere so that I can go off. Now that it's not holding me back anymore. Oh yeah, there we go. Clean up. They got a discard. They can have a removal spell, but we're just going to be able to buy back with the Underworld Cookbook anyway, so... Alright. Draw for turn. Saga. Manufactor. Oops. Black, blue, win. And this deck is just perfect for the One Ring, just getting to sack it here. Let's just do that. And now let's just dump the rest of our hand. We've presented another, game-ending loop, so I'll just play a couple cards to stop from discarding a bunch of resources, and then we can get some threats in play and finish off this game. Last time my opponent conceded, so... Is anything in here a flashback? No, that's a kicker card. Okay, they're killing the Academy Manufactor. It's not going to matter, and I don't need like any of these cards, so I'm just going to start discarding stuff so I don't have to click Oval Chase triggers. Discard the Damping Sphere. We don't need that. Say okay. Alright, we got the extra turn slot in the bag. Yeah, let's just yield through the turn. We'll play the Manufactor and they'll probably concede, I would imagine. Now we can play the other Saga. I mean, this should just be easy cleanup. Manufactor. Make a construct that'll kill you in one hit. All right, there we go. So maybe a bit of a brew style on mono black Coffers. One against them 2-0. I think classic Coffers lists are just a lot better. But yeah, not too much to talk about against this deck. Really, the struggle against mono black is Karn, and we didn't see a Karn those games. But you kind of gotta, you want them to spend their removal on your lower level threats, so your Geese and your Serent Steel Seekers, and you want your Constructs and your Asmos to survive, since they're 3 damage, and so if they tick down Karn, you can just immediately kill it on your next turn. So we were prepared for that, but that's okay. We were able to go off, made a couple misplays. We probably could have gone off earlier if we had just sacked the Damping Sphere, but that's okay. Still got the win. We're 3-1 right now, so we're going to be positive either way. Trying to get a 4-1 in the next match. All right, headed into match 5. We win the die roll. Love to see that. Okay, what do we got? The one lander is scary, not having a way to get Asmo in play. Theoretically, we can Goose into Cycle Unearth on turn 2, but we still have to hit a land. Plus the top end ring and double Oval Chase, I think this is a mulligan. This hand kind of does nothing. My opponent mulligan too. It's hard to go to 5 with this deck. I mean, we can loot some of the lands away with the Blood Fountain, but not having any gas in play is kind of tricky. I think I gotta mulligan this too. That's kind of close, but okay. I mean, this is a 5, but maybe a little bit better having access to Oval Chase and the turn 1 Blood Fountain. So I think we bottom land. We could either bottom the second Saga or the second of these lands. The Sagas are stronger, so I think if we top deck another land, we get to have a double Saga hand, so I think it's this. We'll probably loot away this Oval Chase. Hope to draw into some action. So hopefully we're not up against something, you know, too aggressive. Right, Catacombs. All right. Okay, probably Yawgmoth. Okay, we drew the other land. So I think we want to have as big a construct as possible. So I don't think I'm going to pop this blood token. But it's definitely a possibility. Wall of Roots. It's going to be hard to attack through that Wall of Roots. I do really need action, though. I think I will, and I'll do it now so that they can't have a Bowmasters in response to my draw. Okay, Goose is okay. I like to see no Grist, but next turn they can Yawgmoth, and then I'm in major trouble. Young Wolf, especially with this hand. They probably, you know, usually Yawgmoth is keeping hands that can put Yawgmoth in play, so. I still think we just need to make Construct. Even if they have the Yawgmoth, I think I need to make them kill the Construct. So let's just do that, get back Oval Chase. Okay, Grist instead. Alright, I like to see that. Next turn they could like Cord if they wanted. Delighted Halfling, okay. They've already ticked up the Grist. Oh, this is a 2/2. Yeah, I'll just take the 2. I'm not trading my Construct. Oh, they'll probably just tick down the Grist to kill it anyway, but this is what we're doing. What do we draw? Time Sieve. Okay, okay. Now we can definitely get a cookbook here. I think I need to make the second construct. I'll put cookbook in play this turn, and then hopefully next turn we can try to get a time sieve in play. We'll have to top deck a blue source though. So not necessarily happening. Hopefully we can just fade Yawgmoth for a couple turns. And here they're going to tick down to kill this a construct anyway, so I'm just going to pressure Grist. Force them to chump block. We can at least get, you know, kind of a card off the battlefield for future purposes. Alright, go ahead. If we top deck a blue source, we can just take a turn next turn, and then we might be able to just kill them with construct combat. Okay, this tells me they probably have Cord for Yawgmoth. If they're not killing my construct. It's interesting. They could also Cord for Endurance here if they really wanted to. But I'm not going to play around that. Okay. Oh, they just have the Endurance in hand? Okay. Well, it is what it is. We still do get to take an extra turn if we top deck the blue source. Otherwise, I think we are just play here, get the goose in place so we can sieve next turn, and then we'll just make an additional construct. Combat. Attack. Who do I want to attack? I guess if I attack them, I force the chump block. But if I attack both at grist, they have to chump block too. Maybe I should just be pressuring them at this point. Okay. I'll do it. Since we've got these constructs are so big. And here's where I wish I was playing a Shadow Spear, but, you know, unfortunately I'm not. Thus is life. I'll have a construct that can block the Endurance at instant speed. Hopefully their last card is not Chord or Eldritch Evolution. Interesting decisions here to just tick up the grist. Patra, okay. Well, they got everything set up. If a Yawgmoth resolves, I think I just lose the game. So, hopefully a Yawgmoth does not resolve. Okay, let's see. So here I've got 3 foods plus the fountain. That's 4, but I have to sack one. I think I want to take some draws here, although I can just make another construct. I think I just need to say, I'm going to try to kill you. Let's get, this time around, let's get Vial. Okay. Could they have removal from my goose once I go to combat? I don't know. I don't think so. I'd rather them have less information when I go to combat. Let's attack you. Because the nice thing here is that they really just have to start chump blocking these constructs, and then I just get to take a turn and attack all over again. So, chump block. Alright, so we get 3 of their chump blockers off the battlefield. Alright. Black, sack of food for blue. Now I can discard the dispute. I'll probably sack Vial, 2 foods, blood fountain, and then I can either sack a cookbook or discard the dispute. I think here I'd rather keep the dispute in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Untap, take another turn. Attack you with some more creatures. Another deadly dispute. So here I want to just turn this goose into a artifact. Pump my team, basically. Sweet. Okay. Blood Fountain is a pretty great draw, being 2 artifacts. And here you can see the niceness of Blood Fountain, you know, just with Time Sieve in general. I think here then I can discard the land, combat, and I think this should be GG. They have to chump block, I think, everybody, and then I can just take another turn. Gotta chump block at least one more. And I definitely think they should have been ticking down the grist on my constructs when they had the chance. And this is the punishment. The highest amount of damage is 3, so if I sack 5 artifacts, it doesn't die. Let's sack... let's just sack everything but Time Sieve, so we can theoretically take another turn after this. And there we go. All right, whew. Got that combat win against Yawgmoth. So important to get the first game. Here I like to bring in at least one Unmoored Ego. Bring in removal for Yawgmoth. We want to bring in Pithing Needles for Yawgmoth. Having the second Pithing Needle, in fact, is, you know, mostly for Yawgmoth, also for the ring in the sideboard. They don't usually have artifact enchantments that matter. To bring in a Haywire Mite for. I could bring in the second Ego or possibly Terrasunder. I think Terrasunder is just worse. Possibly second Ego could help. But I think this is good enough. Okay, let's go. They have Endurance, so Unearth definitely loses a lot of efficacy in this matchup. The combo is pretty good against them, but I think I could cut maybe one Manufactor. Let's cut a Goose. Let's cut... What else do I want to cut here? I don't play against Yawgmoth a lot, so I don't have like a staple plan in my head. This might be a matchup where the Vial doesn't matter as much. So maybe I'll cut Vial, and then let's cut another Unearth. I think that'll be how I run it, see how it feels. Alright, game 2, Yawgmoth. We are in match 5. Trying to play for that 4-1. Okay, what do we got? This is pretty slow. No Saga, no Oval Chase, no Threat, no Removal. Opponent begins at 7. I think I need a better hand to contend. Okay, having Saga here maybe makes this hand keepable. We can get Pithing Needle. I think I can try it. Alright, let's keep bottom Basic Swamp. Last time we could have used that blue mana, so this time I'll keep the fetch around. Okay, no ramp on turn 1. That is really good to see. Ooh, another Saga. Now I can run Gilded Goose out here, or I can play the Saga to try to get Pithing Needle down as quick as I can. And I think that that's more important in this situation. We can save the other Saga until we play our other 2 lands to make constructs, but I really want to get the Needle down. Hopefully they don't have Force of Vigor, but there's only one way to find out. No, I'm guessing here they might have their Wall of Roots. Oh, Soulless Jailer. Permanent cards in graveyards. Players can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. Cool. Okay, well, I'm even happier that I cut the Unearths and we still can't see a turn 3 Yawgmoth. So I think this is good news for us. Now we can get down our Goose, and we'll probably just be cycling this Unearth then. Okay. But I'd like to get a blocker down for that Young Wolf. And now as long as this Saga sticks around, we're going to get Needle, Needle Yawgmoth. That is the most important card. Could have... Okay, no attack. That tells me they probably don't have Bowmasters in hand either. Alright, we got there. Okay, okay, now we can get Needle, cycle Unearth, cast Asmo. Perfect. Alright, float colorless. Let's Needle Yawgmoth, Thran Physician. Okay. Yep, player backup Saga. Now we can make constructs moving forward. Cycle our Unearth. It doesn't do anything at the moment. And also it doesn't affect Oval Chase either. which is great. So, you know, it's a bit of a weird bring-in against my deck. Could mean that they don't understand it fully. And here, since I've got the Oval Chase, I just want to put the pressure on. Go ahead. Next turn we'll probably maybe fetch a Watery Grave. What do you got? Endurance. Put another Saga on the bottom of my library. Thank you, Endurance. They will be able to get in with Endurance this turn, but then I think we can turn the corner. They could theoretically Yawgmoth and then pass the turn and force, but they would have to have a very specific hand. They would have to have exactly land Yawgmoth, green card force. So, ooh. Not replayer reveals their hand and exiles. Oh, this just gets it from hand and graveyard? Okay. That's okay, down one Asmo. If that card did get creatures out of graveyard, it would be so good. But in this case, not so great. Alright, go to 15. We do have to find another, you know, hopefully removal spell to get that endurance out of play, but having having this second Saga, we can make stuff that's big enough to block endurance. Okay, hitting the Blooming Marsh, another one. Let's just play that. We don't have color requirements now. And if I haven't mentioned it in the past, for those who are watching, to play around Graveyard Hate, I will be discarding Oval Chase before activating the Saga. That way, if they have an Endurance, I can activate, make a construct, and trigger the Oval Chase again at instant speed. And that is the beauty. Now I will have this Oval Chase protected by Goose or Saga for probably the rest of the game. Okay, make a huge construct. They got one card in hand. I got Yawgmoth locked down. This game is looking pretty good. Alright, now what do we want to get? We could get another Pithing Needle, but I don't really see a need for it. I'm going to make them destroy this one first. I'd like to thin the deck, so let's get our Verdant Catacombs down, and I think I can start attacking. They don't have enough power to trade for this construct, and we have a nice construct back to block. This might be just a chump from the Young Wolf. Okay, chump from the Soulless Jailer. That turns our, well, we only have one copy of Unearth left in the deck, so that does turn that on, but... Alright, Cord. They're probably getting a Cord for 4. I don't know what they have, so I'm just going to respond with what I want to do now. I don't know what kinds of hate pieces they have, so I'm just going to do everything I need to do now. If it's a Yawgmoth, I mean, that's strange. I would assume they would be getting removal. Oh, okay. I would have assumed they would get removal for the Pithing Needle, but maybe they just need to top deck that anyway. There we go. Didn't top deck it. Knew they were in trouble. Won the game against Yawgmoth. So glad we showed that we can actually beat Yawgmoth, because in the past I think this deck has struggled a lot with it. Definitely the second Pithing Needle helps a lot. And again, Yawgmoth, another great example of a deck where you want to play the Saga turn 1 if you can. Sometimes you walk into Force of Vigor, but you really need to be able to get the Needle down before they have access to Yawgmoth. So, awesome. Went 4-1, another great showing from the deck. You know, 5-0 on my last video into 4-1. So I hope if you know, are watching this and you really like this type of deck, you can see that it can compete with the metagame quite well. Yeah, so, you know, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in another video.